You're giving me enough.
I don't like this
You
at
didn't
all.
set me up right.
You know, you probably hear people constantly talking about this horrible thing called capitalism.
I have.
Yeah, you've heard that?
Yes.
You're like, what? How does capitalism affect me? I will tell you, it runs your entire fucking life. You've probably heard of socialism or communism. Communism! And they say, they try to control your entire life. Your whole day is taken away from you. What control do you have over your day now?
Most people have to be chained to a desk for 40 hours a week and they're not allowed to leave.
When you wake up in the morning and you feel like shit and you have to wipe the sleep from your eyes and like look around and be like, why does this have to happen this early in the morning? That's a capitalism.
And it controls everything, like your healthcare, your education. It all comes down to making money, but some things just don't make money. Honestly, ask yourself, how afraid are you of getting an injury and how that could possibly fuck up your life?
Yeah, you're being stopped from skateboarding, breakdancing, doing anything fun, because if you get injured, you're fucked forever. You can't go to work.
And so then you have all these people that say, well, we can make a kinder capitalism, a more conscious capitalism. It isn't gonna fucking happen. We need anarchy, we need socialism, we need communism, we need anything but more capitalism.
But wait, Brett, when you go to the grocery store, you have almost unlimited choice. You can buy 100 different types of cereals.
All made from the same stuff with different graphics on the outside.
All corn. It's basically just a bunch of boxes of corn.
That's capitalism.
It actually treats about 1% of the population like humans, and the rest of us like tools for those superhumans. You don't have any money, your bank account's low? I know where the money is. Jeff Bezos has it, the Waltons have it.
And they took it from us, right?
They took it from us.
We're just getting our money back.
Yeah, your work made that money. You deserve that money. That's your money. The 1% has never decided to do the right thing. That's why we have to take power and just spread it out among the 100% of people that exist. Polite about
It's just
it.
not the polite way to have sex.
That's just
I-
really one way to have sex that's polite, and it's to say, ma'am, or sir, or non-binary person, would you like to enjoy some making love with me? And then if they answer yes, then you mount that person and you move back and forth politely, and then you kind of finish it up and you say, that was great, and then you never mention it again. That's the right way to have sex, okay?
And folks, and that's why we don't do any sort of sex advice or sex stuff on this show, because there's none to be given.
I am wise!
I want you to write the polite sex book, like the proper polite method.
I just said it. How many times have you gone into work and then looked at your boss and said, what are they doing? You ever think about the levels at a job, Brett? Of course, the people on the very bottom. What do?
Usually clean.
Yeah, and then there is the people just above them. They're the ones that do the second hardest job at the place, right?
Deal with customers?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And then there's another level above that, and that's the manager that's in the place. Now let's think about what comes after that, right? You might have a guy named like Glenn that comes to your office every 6 months, and you have to lay out the red carpet for Glenn. Think about what the person above Glenn does. Jerry is the person above Glenn, right?
Okay.
His job is basically going to lunch, right?
Yeah, powerful meetings, shaking hands real hard.
We're gonna go up to the CEO now. The people that sit around a table and who knows what they're doing? Nobody knows what they talk about.
Playing cards.
What connection does that person have to what you do and what the customer gets? It just seems like you could really chop like 5 or 6 levels off of any job and the company would still run perfectly.
Think about your job. Now imagine your manager isn't there. how much smoother would your day run?
I mean, how many of you work a job where you don't even know who the fucking CEO is of the company? That means they're absolutely useless. They're parasites.
They're on the top, getting most of the money, sending their kids to private school, driving the fanciest cars, and they can't make a sandwich. Every new level of hierarchy is more money coming out of your paycheck. Unions are fucking great because it's not HR.
You need solidarity with the other workers. We need to use that and exercise that. You and your other workers are the most important people at that company. I mean, hell, the way I think about it, maybe you don't get a union at all and you just take the whole company away from the bosses, and that's called a co-op.
For the almighty dollar, everyone's a slave. Cause what's the point of doing shit if you ain't getting paid? Ay.
Can you imagine being that sensitive? Like you,
well, that's
like
what
that
they're
is the
PC as hell.
ultimate.
Hey, you know what? This is the freest goddamn country, and it's so free that if you don't stand up, you aren't a free person. And goddamn it, boy, if you don't stand up right now, you ain't free. Because you have the freedom to do whatever you want. But I'm telling you, I have the freedom to make you feel bad for doing the freedom. Just get up and say you love it. Just get up right now, Copernic. God damn it. It's so free that you can't do it. You have to. It's free because there's only one way to be. That's why it's free. So be that. Damn you. They don't have anything to live. I mean, their kids hate them. They don't have, all their money got stolen by banksters and shit. Healthcare's running through the fucking roof.
Before we commence expelling this ghost from this location, before we save Jake from the lock, I will light the ceremonial herb that will give us the sight, that will give us the power we need to set Jake free. My Twitter's not working out here. Let's see if you can get a ghost. Go ahead and try. I summon the ghost into ghostly ghostness. Come the fuck out if you're a real ghost. Now. Demand it. This is how we fucking hunt ghosts. And as we've pointed out, and as we've said, there are no ghosts. So this is where the ghost lives, from what we know. And he's not home. Let me try this. Jake, you may overtake my body. I accept you into my heart and soul. Please, if you are here, take control of me. Use me as a vessel. Gross. Nothing. Yeah, no ghosts. So I guess the lesson of Beaver Creek is there's no such thing as ghosts. There's no God, and the Bible is a lie. Off to Helltown to find out what the government's up to in the middle of fucking nowhere, Ohio. Hell yeah. Bumping out here. Can I get some of this safety herb in my lung, please? And thank you, are welcome here. Jake, you can't have any because they drug test. Yeah, if you go to work, man, you're going to get drug tested. Jake, you son of a bitch! You get out here! Hey, Jake! Ain't coming. He ain't coming because he's afraid of me, Brian Quinby from Street Fight Radio. Brett, would you like a shot at Jake? Yeah. I just fell in a hole. That was Jake. That was all Jake. I think we found the ghost. Jake won't let you see your mention. He's like, don't look at your phone while you're at work, motherfucker.
Oh my God, have you heard the news? Kids are dying of Kratom.
That's not true.
They're injecting it into their veins.
I don't think that's happening.
An ABC Action News exclusive. A mom says a popular herb killed her son.
The most recent death happened in early June. Kratom, also known as metrogenine, was one of 4 drugs blamed for his death.
This was like the devil's drug.
It really is just a green powder that makes people feel better.
Yeah, it's a leaf. It grows from the ground. You smash it up. You make a tea out of it. You throw it down the back of your throat. You eat some capsules, and you feel better. Your mind's clear. And most people that use Kratom don't have access to healthcare or prescriptions or any of that regular medicine stuff. They get it from local stores or online.
Let's do an example here. You're a young person. You don't understand how all this works. So let me explain this to you. When you get hurt in your older age, let's say you're 34, you work on a roof, you fall off and you crush your fucking heel, right? It's all shattered. The doctor 10, 15 years ago was like, that's fucked up. That really hurts. You're gonna need some opioids to kill that pain. And then the DEA says, no, you can't have those anymore. These doctors have to tighten up their prescriptions. And now you don't have any. You can't afford them. What do? You can take Kratom. It has the same effects, it's less addictive, and it's more gross. So that even brings down the use. You're not gonna use it as much. Kratom kills the pain in your body. It also cures social anxiety.
The government's solution to stuff like this is always prohibition, which means putting more people in jail.
How big is your appetite for the war on drugs? I'm sure it's small. It's shrinking every single day. Don't let them continue it. Don't let them outlaw more stuff.
Good point.
Thank you.
I mean, I tell you what, even the jobs that paid me nothing, like when I was first learning them, it was like, all right, I can do this. You just need somebody to get the plates and make them go from here to here. I can be the master of that. I was really into that, and I can do that. But after a while, it's like, you guys treat me like shit, and I get the plates from here to here every fucking time, and you talk down to me and shit. What's going on?
Jesus,
you're counting my lunches. Like, you're looking at what I'm eating. You're like figuring out when I'm going out to smoke. Like, all of a sudden, you're in my shit. But all you said you wanted from me was the plates to go from here to here, and I'm getting the plates from here to here.
God, that was the most accurate representation of how I feel when I get a job. At first, I'm helpless. I'm a little baby. I'm sucking off the tea to the manager to tell me what I need to do. You know, I don't want to, my wings aren't fully formed yet. And then once I learn what I'm doing, I'm like, y'all could treat me a lot better for this. I deserve a lot more for this.
Wow, this is some bullshit right here. Now that you kicked me out of the nest and I'm flying through the sky and trying to flap my wings here, I don't think you're giving me enough.
I don't like this
You
at
didn't
all.
set me up right.
You probably hear people constantly talking about this horrible thing called capitalism.
I have.
Yeah, you've heard that?
Yes.
You're like, what? How does capitalism affect me? I will tell you, it runs your entire fucking life. You've probably heard of socialism or communism. And they say they try to control your entire life. Your whole day is taken away from you. What control do you have over your day now?
Most people have to be chained to a desk for 40 hours a week, and they're not allowed to leave.
When you wake up in the morning and you feel like shit and you have to wipe the sleep from your eyes and like look around and be like, why does this have to happen this early in the morning? That's a capitalism.
And it controls everything, like your healthcare, your education. It all comes down to making money, but some things just don't make money. Honestly, ask yourself, how afraid are you of getting an injury and how that could possibly fuck up your life?
Yeah. You're being stopped from skateboarding, breakdancing, doing anything fun, because if you get injured, you're fucked forever. You can't go to work.
And so then you have all these people that say, well, we can make a kinder capitalism, a more conscious capitalism. It isn't gonna fucking happen. We need anarchy, we need socialism, we need communism, we need anything but more capitalism.
Hey everybody, welcome to Street Fight Radio. We're back.
It's Wednesday night, time for a street fight. Last show in the basement episode.
Oh, that just made me sad.
I'm moving. The studio's moving. Still be in my house, but we're going to eventually get our own studio this year. That's the big plan. But for now, cheers to the basement. We've got a lot of radon poisoning down here that I think has only made the show a lot better. And we're happy for all the support that we got and all the people that donate and help us out. We're on to bigger and better things in 2020, and it's all because of you. For those of you that don't know who we are, maybe it's your first time, my name is Brett Payne. My co-host is Brian Quinby. We're Street Fight Radio, the #1 anarcho-comedy radio show on any station across the nation. Been doing it for a long time now. We're trying to spread this mess across the U.S. We want dissent and disruption. We want people to create something that's outside of the scope of our current possibilities. Something that ain't a Republican or Democrat type thing. We want something else. So for all y'all that are with it, thanks for listening and supporting the show and creating an amazing community of people. Like, whenever I get to meet folks on the road, I just can't believe that we've got so many people that are smarter and more caring and kind and better than we ever will be, inspired by what we do. So we appreciate all the love and support and message we get from people. You can find more of what we do on patreon.com/streetfightradio. You can get bonus audio. Brian's doing a premium podcast, the American podcast, where he goes and talks about the ramifications of Kid Rock's popularity in pop culture, right?
Yeah, it's about Kid Rock. It's about, I don't know, it's about, some of it's about his career, some of it's about, his impact on culture. I think me and Matt Chrisman are going to plot out a first senatorial term for Kid Rock.
Okay.
And his run. So,
one of those. He is a monumental figure. You've big part of your life. And
look, he's an asshole.
For sure.
I want to just say that I don't like him, and you will hear that in the show. That, I like some of the... He is a very, confusing figure to me, in that, I think, that his music was good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Devil Without a Cause is good.
Okay.
I can't, I will never turn my back on it. But I really think he's a piece of garbage.
Sure.
As a person.
Yeah.
No,
he's an interesting... He rides the line. He's a liar. He has a weird story. He's an interesting figure for sure. So I'm excited to hear it.
I came up with the name of the show and then decided to do the show. It wasn't the plan was cool name. Let's just do the show.
Right. You can also come if you want to see Jake Flores and District Sentinel Radio live. They're going to be performing in Columbus, Ohio on January 24th as part of the Incomparable Street Fight Radio variety show. That's happening November 24th at Ruby Tuesday again. Come out. We're going to have Icy Jake is going to be our band. We're going to have Jake take over the Howling Commando spot this time.
Yeah.
He's up to it. We've talked about cover songs. I'm excited to see some of this shit in real life. For those of you that went to the first one and were really impressed by what Jake did, the Icy Jake, not Jake Flores, Icy Jake, I think it's going to be even better this time. It's going to add it's going to be a great atmosphere. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then our musical guest at the end, we're going to have Eddie Bars and Young and 8 together doing a performance at the end. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be different than the last time. Please come out and hang with the gang again. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, I think it's going to kick ass.
And
we've been writing it, and it seems like it's going to be a good show.
Yeah. And then the very next day, on January 25th, we're going to be in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We're going to have Jake Flores with us. We're going to have District Sentinel with us, too?
No, just Jake.
Just Jake Flores. So you can see Street Fight Radio and Jake Flores live in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania on January 25th. You can find tickets to these shows by just going to streetfightradio.com. The left-hand side of the page is always the brand new show. The right-hand side of the page is the newest links and stuff to click on. It has all of our live show information. Sorry that took forever. I feel like that was a lot of fucking paperwork there.
Let me take a look and see how long that took. Because, as you know, I keep the time on the show. 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's a bit long-winded for me.
The basement, right? A little
Is
bit.
it?
Well, it's sad to leave the basement and not be going to a commercial building, right? To our office. That is sort of. But I mean, you know, you said we got a bigger room, so that'll be nice, and it's probably nicer than this. And as you said, we're not going to get black mold poisoning there.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's a good like spur for change. We are very comfortable down in the basement, so much that like we don't bother picking up a lot of the trash or cans that are created from recording the show. And so I feel like we'll get to reset up the studio in a very clean way. We can tape the wires down instead of like tripping over them, stuff like that.
Also, like, meeting in the basement is like, to sit down and write. Sitting in the basement is like, I'm not doing that.
I mean, I work down here all day,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you, I have Googled office gloves more than once. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out like a lightweight pair of gloves that just have the fingertips cut off of them, so that I can like still type and work.
I mean, it's not that bad for me for the cold. It's just like, all of our stuff's laying all over the place. I mean, I guess we could clean it up, but like...
It gets super wet. Like, if it rains too much, the walls just start, like, spraying water out of them like they've been shot with a gun.
Yeah, it'll be good to get to a different place. And, again, we're getting an office, and when we get that studio, I think that is going to be the thing that makes us... But it's going to make us write more, for sure.
Hopefully.
You know?
Yeah.
I can't imagine we don't. I mean, me and Brett both live on different schedules, which is really weird, because I think when we first started, we were basically... Because we were both working for a living.
Yeah.
Right? We were both on the same schedule. And then...
Well, the only time you can get done is late at night.
Yeah.
During the day I was working, so late at night was like when I had time to do stuff.
Yeah, we just live on different schedules. It's so fucking hard to hang. And kids.
Kids are the biggest stumbling block. But I've been on the Brian Quinby schedule for a while. I kind of leaned in, and Erica's on board, which I'm thankful for. She doesn't like give me any guff about waking up at 11:30 or anything. But I really am. Like, I did a late night live stream with Champagne Sharks last night. I've been scheduling stuff, like I'm staying up late. I'm doing the whole, like, stay up till 2, sleep 4 hours, take my daughter to work, come home and sleep 4 hours more, and then go pick her up.
How is that, like, with your mood and stuff?
I don't think it's helping.
I mean, I don't think you... I think you seem to have been in a good mood, but again, most of the time when we talk, we're on mic and we're having fun.
I mean, I feel like to be honest, I feel like I've been an asshole for the last 2 or 3 months. I feel like I've been pretty crotchety, and I think I am probably actually better now. But that's more just because I guess I'm not beating myself up about like waking up at 1:30 in the afternoon and trying to just be like, I get it, I'll get stuff done later.
Well, my thing with the sleep is that, like, broken up sleep causes my anxiety.
It doesn't?
It does. It causes it. Like, that's where I've sort of figured out that, like, for years my anxiety was bad, right? Like, to 2015 to, like, earlier this year, it was bad. And all those years, I was driving my wife to work in the morning and then going home and going back to bed. And it's like, you go to bed at 4, you drive your wife to work at 8, and then you go back to bed and you get up at like 1 or 2, and like all day I was just fucking flipping out.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys heard me melt down on the show when we decided to pay for parking downtown. Like, everything kind of lightened up for me.
Yeah.
You know, like I just am like, I sleep straight through. It doesn't matter what time I go to bed. And like, part of, I guess, like, when I think dream job, you know what I mean? And like, I sort of feel like this is my dream job. I think, like, I get to live on my terms, on my schedule, and nobody can tell me when. You know what I mean? And that's, like, why I do it.
See, now at this point, I've considered it now. I feel like I've really hit the point of it being a real job, in that, like, I'm stressed and like my sleeping is fucked up, and I'm like having on a weird schedule because of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like you do what you have to do type situation.
I know how you feel. Like, I do understand, like, where you're like, I don't want this. I don't want to sleep all day and shit like that. Like, I totally get it.
Not sleep all day. It's the breaking up to sleep is just a bad habit. But, like, I mean, I guess I run more on like a depressed type lifestyle. So like going back to bed is actually I think it kind of has given me a little bit more energy in a way. Like, I can get up, I can drop my daughter off. I can like come home and like put away the dishes and like reload the dishwasher and like put a load of laundry in and then go back to bed. And like it's pretty nice because as soon as I wake up, I usually just want to go right back to bed.
Yeah. I mean, man, it really what it was like taking Katie to work took about 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was just like that 25 minutes was hell for me. Like I was just like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And then it took me another like 45 minutes to fall back to sleep.
Yeah.
And
no,
then,
it's a long, I mean, it's a waste of time for sure.
Yeah.
It adds a lot to the day, but you know, I think that the opposite though, for me, my old way would just be to beat myself up about it or try to make myself power through. And like, that's totally unreasonable. And like, when it comes to setting goals and when it comes to like trying to find something that works, you kind of have to go with what the situation is. Like for me to be like, no, it's best if I wake up at 6 a.m. and work out and meditate and do all of this stuff. And I insist it be that way. But like, I'm subject to my wife's schedule, I'm subjected to my daughter's schedule, and I'm subjected to Street Fight schedule. So I have to figure out something that works. I can't just demand that it's not if I'm only demanding that I get the ideal conditions for myself, I'm playing myself. That's foolish. That's foolish to be like, you know, you should be doing this, and that. And it's like you can't feasibly do
you
that.
Don't have to.
You don't have to.
Like with me, it's like, okay, so I have health insurance, but you know, my job doesn't provide my health insurance, but my job does provide for me to be allowed to sleep and get up when I want to get up. Like no alarm clock. I go to bed when I'm tired and I wake up. Although like I have like been discovering so much about my sleep over the past few months. Like if I fucking lay down, so I always put the phone away. Mm-hmm. Like I've always, for the past like couple years, I'm like, I'm not going to lay in bed and look at my phone. If I'm in my bed, I put my phone away.
That's smart.
Because I don't want to be on it in my bedroom.
Fucks you up.
Right? But then, like, I started being like, I'll just play a little bit of Switch. And I'll be laying in bed with all the lights off and my fan on me and playing Switch. And it's like, I'm fucking up for another 3 hours.
Staring at a light bulb.
Yeah. Playing Luigi's Mansion. I'm like, I gotta kill these fucking ghosts, man.
You're fighting ghosts in your bed. There's no way your brain is ready to, like, just shut down after it was trying to get Guigi to do what you wanted him to do.
Yeah, and now I'm 100% fully on just reading. I just go in there, I lay down, and
It's the best.
Yeah.
I think that it's already been solved. I think that there is a lot of best practices, and reading before bed is one that just, it puts you out. It's like it's stimulating enough. It feels like you're doing something, but it doesn't distract you in the way that the screens do. And like, I do use like a tablet. I mean, like an e-reader. I use like.
I do too.
So
I use one.
I use an e-reader, so it's like the ink-based ones, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've always said that I think that's something that I stick to. That is one thing that I always cling to is like put the phone on the charger and start reading until you go to bed. Because reading isn't fucking bad. Like we were saying, like reading is not like a pain or a chore.
You're respected for it.
Right. You're like, you sit there and you scroll through your Instagram Explore page for 35 minutes and you're just inside. You feel guilty. You're just like, oh, that was precious moments of my life.
Yeah.
And all I did was like watch the stupidest shit in the world or like not get satisfied by any video that I watched in the last 40 minutes. Instead, I could just read along. I can just read this goddamn story. You know, whatever it is, nonfiction, fiction, anything is like way more interesting than doing the phone fucking thing.
Right. And everybody in my house, at least, is like, you know, you read. You know what I mean? Like Katie and my daughter are like, Brian reads. I mean, he's always reading these books. And they're like impressed with it. Like, how do you do it? And I'm like,
it's so rewarding.
It's better than playing fucking. My wife plays a game on her phone every night to fall asleep, and I'm like, that's not like helping you at all. I just want to tell her, like, open a book. That is going to make you go. And even Gwen will say, like, oh, I read 2 pages and I fall asleep. And I was like, the key is that you fall asleep. Like,
yeah, that's
like
good.
How many pages you read,
right?
You know,
that's me with the Mario Kart. Like, I make the mistake, I'll pull it up and look at Mario Kart, and it's like you've beat all of the courses for the tour. You have to wait until they release the new races, and it's like, Right. I play this too much. I'm already doing this all day. Now I need to make this bedtime thing a different scenario where I'm not doing the thing that I'm already doing all day long.
Yeah, that's where I've been. I have just been like, I'm going to read this book. I like the book. I go through a lot of samples. That's the good thing about the e-reader, I think, is you can get a bunch of samples before you buy it.
Okay.
So if something grabs you in that 30 pages, you buy it. If it doesn't, you fucking get another sample.
Sure.
I've read a lot of 30 pages of a book and stopped.
That's interesting. I mean, I try to plow through them. I do try to, like, just not give up on them. I had a tendency to give up on books. But at the same time, I also am like, if I'm really not looking forward to the book, I just got to, like, get out of it.
Right. That's how I am with the thing I'm reading now. It's just like, well, I mean, I always want to know what's happening next. And every night when I'm about to fall asleep, you do this thing, right, where you're reading before you fall asleep and you know you're getting tired. You get to a new chapter and you're like, I shouldn't start this.
I'm going to go for it, though.
But I'm going to go for it. And all the chapters in this book I'm reading are 21 to 28 pages. And it's like, I know I'm not going to get through this. And then I'm going to start in the middle of something tomorrow and not know where I was. But yeah.
Yeah, I get most of my stuff from the library. So I'm like, I just have a regular... I'll rate basically. I will rent like 7 books and do what you did. Like I'll get 7. I'll find books that are available right now, get them all, and then read the beginning. And if it isn't enough, I'm just gonna like on to the next one.
Yeah. So this week, so basically something I was saying is like this week I had shows booked, right? Like. I had a full schedule for the whole week. It's my birthday week anyway, so it's kind of like I shouldn't be working as hard as I was planning to work. And
you're a birthday week guy now.
Well, it's just like I was going to work harder. I was going to do the whole record 2 shows a night for fucking 5 days in a row.
Okay.
And I probably shouldn't have been doing that, you know?
Okay.
And Katie's off on Friday, so like it would have just been Thursday night, me recording and her sitting up in our bedroom, you know? So like last night I had a cancellation. Well, I had all cancellations this week, but like and it opened up time. It was very weird to have time at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night because I'm always working.
Yeah.
And last night I decided, because I had a cancellation and I wasn't doing anything else, I'd watch the debate.
Oh, yeah.
I watched the debate.
Wow.
With Katie.
Doing politics.
Right. I did. Not only did I do politics, but I did it with a normal person.
Wow.
It's not like online poison
right.
about the election.
Somebody that's, like saying this for the first time.
Yeah.
Some of it, right?
I mean,
Is she keeping up with it?
I think she reads a little bit, but like she's like kind of like Glenn in a way that I think, like Katie, I think likes looking at current news about new foods and diets.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I think she looks at Pinterest a lot and reads articles about that, and she'll bring the articles to me. I'm like, oh, this is not something I would ever read, but hey, if you enjoy it. But like I think she does like sort of look. Well, you know, what's going on in Iran? You know what I mean?
Sure. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm wondering though, like Tom Steyer, like there hasn't been a.
She didn't know him.
That's what I'm saying. There's no scuttlebutt about a guy like that. The people that are actually like horse racing this thing are the ones that know some of these minor people. Yeah. So that's what I meant in that.
No.
I'm sure there's plenty of headlines for the major candidates, but the minor ones. The Tom Steyer guy showed up with a fucking witchcraft sigil written on his hand, right? That's the one. He does like chaos magic.
No idea, but he is.
He does. I think
he is weird, and I'm gonna tell you, he's a billionaire. Number one.
Okay, through Satanism, probably.
Which can I talk about like? Bernie Sanders, you know, people don't give Bernie Sanders enough credit for sort of changing the way that people talk about this stuff. Because I think in 2004, Steyer would have been the nominee because they would say, in order to beat a billionaire, you got to have a billionaire. You know what I mean? But now it's like a liability when he says, I'm a billionaire, but I give a lot of that away.
Yeah.
And yes, I have money in oil and coal, but I'm closing down factories all the time. Like he was saying shit like that yesterday, and it was just like honestly, third most left candidate on that stage. Tom Steyer is number 3.
I mean, I don't know. It's unfair and ugly, but I do think that people want to be talked down to a little bit.
They do.
I mean, I think that billionaires do get a little bit more respect from everybody. People are intimidated by that.
Well, Katie,
I feel like it could be worked. Like we're primed for Tony Stark president, for sure.
I mean, it's not happening.
No.
It's the thing about it is people just are fed up with billionaires.
No one's gonna. I mean, it does. That's the thing. Is like it does seem like as a concept it would work, but no one's going to be on the ground working and campaigning and canvassing for someone like that.
For Tom Steyer.
No.
He's a fucking weirdo, man. I'll tell you, the part of the debate that was my highlight of the whole debate was Tom Steyer. At the end, they give you 1 minute to like
just pop off.
Yeah, you're just allowed to pop
freestyle,
off, right?
Freestyle.
This is how Tom Steyer he's freestyling, and this is prepared. Okay, not freestyling.
Oh, he knew he was going to get it. Yeah,
he knew he was going to get literally. 1 minute.
Yeah, he stood in his fucking jockeys in front of a mirror and practiced his little 60-minute elevator pitch.
Yeah, so you get 1 minute. He goes up there. They say you got 1 minute to just wrap it up. You know, tell us about yourself. And he was like, you know what? I'm an American. And I look at Americans as being on my team. And if I'm playing a game and somebody runs down the field and kicks one of my teammates in the face, I'm going to kick him right back in the face. And I was like, what the fuck is that? What game were you playing?
Loyalty.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering what game he was playing.
You know, and where I'm from, we don't believe in one-on-one fighting. Like, if you mess with one of my boys, we're all jumping your ass. That's how I became a billionaire.
Yeah. I'm just sitting on the couch and I'm like, this motherfucker is talking about kicking people in the face.
Yeah.
On this. Like he took his time. It's so weird. It sounded like something I would have said when I was 19.
I mean, but that's how you get people on the sides. Like, you know what? If someone ever punched you, we would beat the shit out of them. I would beat the shit out of them.
Not even gonna fucking
with an inch of their life.
Yeah. It is true. That's why make a lot of friends that way.
That's like a drunk ass guy that like puts his arms around you and just whispers in your ear some violent shit like that, you know? I'd take a man's life for you right now. I'm not fucking around either. I'd slit his throat. I'd take a syringe full of cobra venom and put it in his neck.
That is what it felt like to be. I mean, he was trying to be like light and airy about it, but you just can't say the word kicking people in the face and think that I'm gonna look at as like, oh, that's a light.
We do a show called Street Fight.
I know, but kicking in the face for I don't know.
I mean, kicking the teeth and kicking the face.
Guy in a suit standing there, a billionaire and an old billionaire in a suit talking about kicking, like face kicks, is just odd imagery. I thought, like, very weird. Another thing is CNN's commercials are crazy, and one of the commercials was Ronald Reagan's son.
Okay. Ron Reagan.
Ron. He just goes by Ron. Ronnie. You know, Ronnie Reagan. He's Ron.
He should have went Ronnie. I would go Ronnie Reagan. Yeah. Would be great, but I know.
But
Ron.
He's working. He starts out his commercial with, "Hi, I'm Ron Reagan, and I'm a proud atheist." And this whole commercial is about atheism. We got to separate church and state. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Like the religion is getting too involved in the government, and I don't like it. And we need to take care of this.
Okay.
That's Reagan.
I'm down with Ron Reagan.
Okay. So at the end of the commercial, though, when he's signing off, he goes, "I'm Ron Reagan, and I'm not afraid to go to hell."
That is ball. Did he dab on him?
He should have, because it was like, what the fuck is happening? I'm Ron Reagan, and I'm not afraid to go to hell.
That's sick.
It's a cool thing to say.
He paid for that.
I'm going to get a tattoo
his
of that.
Passion for atheism?
Yeah. Let's just get tattoos on our fucking arms that say I'm not afraid to go to hell.
I just imagine all the white-haired grandparents that are just like disgraceful. They pull out that nasty ass tissue out of their pocket they've been using all day, and they like wipe their fucking mouth, and they're like, that's disgraceful.
So weird. I didn't even consider that people would be offended by it.
Oh, for sure, man.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, most people believe that there's a hell and shit. I mean, it's overwhelming the amount of folks that, you know, are into that.
It didn't feel edgy when I was watching it, but you're totally fucking true. I mean, it is fucking edgy. It is an edgy thing to say to like a certain group of people, like young people under like.
I mean, that motherfucker's like, he signed his name on it. Like, he basically said that the devil gave me a contract, I'd go straight to hell.
Yeah, I don't care. I'll sell my soul to Satan. I don't give a fuck. You know, what's he gonna do?
Yeah, that's so cool, man.
I know, it's fun. It is like, when I think about it now, it was like I was thinking about it because, you know, the new default. So back in the day, probably early 2000s, late 90s, you looked at an atheist and you're like, that's a fucking edgy dude. That is a motherfucker that's living.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we all were.
Well, it turned. I mean,
more religious back then.
The Dawkins and Hitchens had a little thing going, and then it turned very aggressive and became annoying and
smug.
That's
what I was saying. The smugness of it.
At the same time, I do think there should be some pushback, considering that, like, the religious right has a very large, they have a very large grasp on like the government and stuff. And going back to our nerdy caller that wouldn't introduce themselves, what's your basis for morality? Like, I don't think that we should consider, like, I don't think that somebody's religion should have any sort of merit on the government or the rules that I'm judged by. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it is
when it comes to things like being pro-choice or any of that.
Well, too. I was like listening to a clip of Sean Hannity and this woman named Ainsley from Fox News, and they were talking about, it's called Ainsley's Prayer Hour.
Oh God!
And it's on Fox. It's on the over-the-top service, the Fox app.
Right, the private stream.
Yeah, and they just, you know, she's just like, I'm having a prayer hour. You know what I mean? We're going to sit here and we're talk about Jesus. And I'm listening to this clip, and she starts it out by like, she's a politics person, right? Like, she goes, Fox News, we know that Fox News isn't news. Don't get on me about that, but it is supposed to be. Like, there's supposed to be a veneer of respectability.
Well, this is the problem. The problem is that we have people that treat it like it is respectable or real news.
Yeah, but they are supposed to be also putting that show on. Like, it's so weird to me that, like, Fox News is no longer putting on... Are they putting on a show that says it's the news, or are they just putting on a fucking show, you know?
I don't know.
It's called Ainsley Bible Study.
Right? Oh, fun. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you can get like a popsicle at the end, I'll sit down and wait. Like, that was always my game.
Give you food at church. It never happened.
There was a childhood story here. There was a kid, in the neighborhood, there was one above ground pool, and the dad was a weird religious fundamentalist guy, and he would always make us go over there and do a fucking Bible study with him, and we would just sit through it and, you know, listen to the stories and all of that, and then we would get to swim in the pool and get like pizza and shit afterwards.
Yeah. I never got. I went to church like 4 times when I was a kid, and every time the kid that I went to church with was like, "Oh, you get snacks at church." And
yeah,
like,
that was the best part, really.
Yeah, and when I was like a kid,
Jell-O salad and shit.
Yeah, I mean, people don't remember this because we're all old now, but like when you are. I think I'm even still there now. Snacks are like the major draw. And like when you have a kid that's under 10, you can't fucking leave without snacks. You gotta have snacks. Brett has a fucking box of granola bars in his console in his fucking car because they need a fucking snack every single minute.
Yeah.
So church, to me, was like, there'll be snacks there. And I'm like, oh, I'll go there.
Yeah, you can run around in circles, and there'll be like 7-layer bars and buffalo chicken dip.
Yeah. So I went a few times with this is like the boat story too, right? Like I went and I was expecting food, and it was just nothing. It was like deviled eggs and shit, and it's just like nothing I liked. And I was like, I thought that was fucking gonna be pizza, man.
Ham salad.
Yeah, pizza. You know, if you're doing an event and you're bringing kids and you're promising them snacks, pizza. That's it. It makes them all happy. I never was served a pizza as a kid where I was like, son of a bitch, it's pizza.
Yeah.
You know, now I'm like, I can't eat pizza every single day now, but I can still probably eat it 4 times in a week. I'm like Papa John.
I'm like no pizza 2020. I did break down. I ordered a pizza with no cheese.
What?
It was good.
Well, okay.
No bubble guts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind the bubble guts. I mean, that's like kind of the way I live.
I got an Angie's. They got the Gardenia mix or whatever that shit's called.
Oh, that shit's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit is the bomb. So anyway, like this Ainsley's Bible study on there, she was like telling her vision that she had. It was like her opening monologue.
Cool.
And she's just fucking talking about she saw horses, like some horses bringing Jesus in, and like it just sounded like a fucking trip report.
I know I wanted to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
I could, just do like fucking DMT or ayahuasca and then just tell somebody about it for 15 minutes.
That's what it felt like. And then Sean Hannity came on, and he was like talking, and this is what he says, dude. He's like, you know, sometimes during the day, if I feel like things are, you know, getting the best of me, I'll like just start the Lord's Prayer. And he's like, if I get in the middle of the Lord's Prayer, if I'm in doing the Lord's Prayer and I think that, like, you know, I got to call this guy later, I start the Lord's Prayer over again. That's just something I do. And I start it over and over again until I'm focused on the Lord's Prayer.
Okay.
You know?
And well, that's a solution.
Yeah. It was like, it was just a weird, it was so weird because it was like these people, I don't know, man. If they were talking about like anything else, people would think they were freaks, and I still think they're freaks.
The problem is that like I also have my own incantations. Like I'll just sing a part of like a favorite song to myself sometimes, you know, instead. Yeah. But it's that when they think that they have access to like extraterrestrial knowledge about why we're all here and how we should be conducting ourselves, you know?
Yes, thank you. That is what it is. The extraterrestrial knowledge and then telling me that I'm bad.
Yeah, I mean like I'll feel bad about myself and then I'll just sing in my head, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. And I'm like, all right, that's like my Lord's Prayer, you know? Yeah, it's like just say something like that. Is that like, well, you know, it takes effort to do things, Brett.
That's a good Lord's Prayer, though, dude.
That's my Lord's Prayer.
Yeah, I like that. You know?
I
don't have any of that stuff. Like, I just don't have, like, a thing that I
You don't have, like, an automatic response to your bad thoughts?
No, my bad thoughts are the thing, you know? My bad thoughts are, like, all I have. Really.
But you don't have to you can't shut them down with, like, a song lyric?
Not a
You got to come up with something that, like, resonates with you that just, like, repels that bad thought.
Yeah, just no fucking idea, dude. I did just, when my bad thoughts come, they just play on a loop in my head, like I hit repeat on my bad thoughts.
Yeah.
And then I, like, try to take them apart. And then it gets them worse, and then it's just bad thoughts, you know? So I try to think of other stuff, but, you know, it's just not something. So, Brett sent me a thing that I thought we would cover. This is a Columbus story, and I thought it was interesting and kind of silly, and it might be fun for us to talk about.
Did I send it to you?
You sent it to me.
I don't even know what it is.
Apparently, there's big money to be made in vending machines. So much so that a thief in Worthington School was able to make off with a whopping $17,000 over a period of 6 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So, $17,000 in theft from a vending machine. It's administrator or a teacher. It's someone inside, right? It's not a 6-year student, is it?
Well, let's find out.
Or maybe that someone got the hack and told
the next kids. You know what I'm saying?
Here's one of those things. Like sometimes you steal a little bit from work, and you don't do the math in your head. You know, it's like, it's just a bag of chips a couple times a day.
Yeah.
And then you're 6 years deep, and when they do the numbers, they're like, oh, shit, that was $17,000 worth of chips that I stole.
Right, that's the kind of shit that freaks me out with time theft. It always freaked me out with time theft. It's like, I was just fucking around for a few minutes, and then you fell asleep and you claimed overtime.
Yeah.
You know?
But it was also comes down to, we talked to that story last year about the woman that ate a piece of ham every day.
Yes.
And they were like, you ate 0.33 pounds of ham every single day for several years. That's worth $7,000. And you're like, all right, well, I thought it was just pieces of ham. I didn't really think of it as like this much money, you know?
Yeah. People don't think about quarters as money either. And it's
Yeah.
probably what you pull out of that machine is a bunch of quarters, and you're like, that's...
Yeah, you fish a couple, like the bag, and this is also, I'm going to say, just what I know about the police, they always talk about the street value of shit.
Yeah.
Right? When they get a kilo of cocaine, they're talking about like somebody that's selling half grams that are like stepped on, you know?
Yes.
They're like, you know, they could get $100,000 for this kilo. It's like, the weed, they talk about $70 an eighth, you know, some of the weed. It's like, you're wrong. Y'all don't know shit.
Yeah, so the real story, I got the real story, not the one you sent me, like a blog of the story. A report from Ohio State's auditor Keith Faber reveals that thousands of dollars are missing from a soft drink vending machine at Worthington City Schools. Police continue to investigate. No criminal charges have been filed.
Oh, snap.
They
found it.
Administrative secretary who oversaw the funds has resigned. I mean, 17 grand is a lot of fucking money.
I mean, it's a fucking car. You could go get a brand new car and walk out the door with it.
But over 6 years, again, it's like you said, over 6 years, maybe they were taking like $10 a day. I don't think that math works
Dude,
out.
it's not. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, it's pretty impressive. I have to think that somebody was getting cases. Like somebody was like ordering extra cases and taking them home for the week.
Right.
Because that's an incredible amount of money. Say it one more time.
17 grand.
17
The
grand.
machine at Linworth Alternative School at 2075.
Over 6 years?
Yeah. Should have operated on a net zero margin, but from 2013 to 2019, cash disbursements from the machine exceeded the receipts deposited, according to a report released by State Auditor Keith Faber.
Dude, I mean, it's $2,800 a year. Which,
okay.
I mean, that's per day. Like, we're talking about not even school days. 365 days. I fucked up the math.
I'm curious to know what it is a month, because I tend to believe that this happens
17,000
monthly, right?
Yeah.
Because it says here, specifically, 52 cash payments to vendors totaled about $25,000, and 24 cash deposits totaled about $8,000, leaving about $17,000 unaccounted for, the report said. An administrative secretary responsible for collecting and depositing the money from the self-fill machine resigned July 1st, 2019, after the district's treasurer office became aware of the issue in May, according to the state auditor's report.
So it's $7.76 a day.
See, that is the fucking kind of thing, though, where it's just like, I'm going to grab myself a little lunch. You know, that's a Wendy's lunch.
Yeah, and that's also like bringing something home to like pack in your husband's lunch or your wife's lunch or your non-binary partner's lunch. Something for the kids. It's like, but like that is a lot. That is a very methodical way to get a lot of money out of them. $7 a day.
Yeah, so there's no criminal charges. The secretary quit, and just because she resigned, and she said for personal reasons.
Nah, you looked sus.
I know. I wouldn't have resigned.
No way. I wouldn't let it cool down, and I would have waited to get fired. I would have never admit, like, you look guilty as fuck right now.
You gotta just let them fire you. You do. You just gotta let them fire you.
I mean, she's trying to avoid the charge. She can take her skills somewhere else.
But maybe they called her into an office and were like, you did this.
Well, they were like, who's stealing all this? And she was like, I haven't actually been doing my job at all, and I haven't been overseeing what happens with the machines. And they're like, we're gonna let you just resign. How about that?
Yeah. Oh, they discontinued the self-fill soft drink machine program to eliminate the potential internal control weakness, according to Faber's report. Which, by the way,
I mean, you let 8. Oh man, that is a lot of extra soft drinks. They're doing street price though. They're doing street price.
Yeah, so they're probably a buck a piece.
Probably $2.50 a piece. Can you get them for $1?
I usually pay $1 for a can.
You shop at vending machines, Jake?
Sometimes. Yeah.
How much does a 20-ounce pop from a vending machine cost these days?
The can? Or it's
no, 20-ounce bottle.
The 20-ounce bottle.
$2.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
$2. Okay. Yeah, 4 a day.
If you get like
4 a day. So like when they first get in there, when they have their first break, when they have their lunch, and when they have their second break, they're getting a free pop. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. This is nothing to be alarmed about. It's just that someone got a free pop on every single break that they took at work.
Well, the district uses insurance coverage over the Ohio school plan to recover the missing money. It received a check for about $16,000 after paying a $1,000 deductible to the Toledo-based insurer. So they got the money back.
Oh, they have it insured?
Yeah.
Then everybody wins.
I know.
Everybody wins. I love this.
Yeah. Except for the students don't get their soft drinks anymore.
No more pop?
Which, by the way, let's cut the shit with the pop at school, right? We're not supposed to be fucking drinking that shit. They're yelling at me about drinking it. You don't think that? I think my daughter
You're a no
told
pop
me,
at school guy?
I think I am, yeah, because my daughter was telling me that every morning at her school, she gets there, and most of the students, we're talking like a healthy amount of the students, are drinking that Mountain Dew Kickstarter in the morning because they sell it at school. They sell Mountain Dew Kickstarter.
Really?
It's called the breakfast Mountain Dew. And I was like, that's not like a habit you want to. I'd rather you drink coffee.
You'll get kidney stones from that.
Yeah.
That's weird. I don't know. Maybe my kid is just too crunchy, but I would like her to drink pop.
Like you'd have to buy it for her and give it to her.
I try to get her. I offer it all the time, and she really is not into it. She went to our friend's house and she asked for water, and I was like so embarrassed. I'm like, I mean, she's not fun like her dad is, like she's not gonna. The apple does fall far from the tree. Like I was embarrassed. I don't know. I mean, I guess it is neat in the way that like I was always like the little test rat where I was going right back to that little bottle of high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah,
I love that shit.
I mean, I love it too. I just can't.
My daughter eats more solid sugars than drink. I feel like drinking the sugar is cheaper and more efficient. But when you have a child, they need about 200 grams of sugar a day in order to like operate and function properly. So, but she gets it from solid substances. She's like cakes and ice creams and cookies. She's not drinking it.
Yeah, I mean, Gwen has quit drinking pop a lot too, and it used to be. Because I buy 4 12-packs of bubbly and one 12-pack of 7-Up.
Do you still drink a pop every day?
Every fucking single day.
I thought you gave that up.
Well, I'm a 40-year-old man that's been drinking a pop every day for my whole life.
Yeah, you grew up on pop.
But it's just one a day. I don't fuck around with 2, okay? I do it with my dinner. I have a nice pop with my dinner, and it's nice. It's a flavor I love, you know? I can't only do water.
I know. I like that though. I would like to do that with all of my vices. I mean, I think that is the way to do it. It's like once a day, just a little toot of cocaine and like 1 bowl of weed, and that's it. That's all it is. Once a day, at the end of the day, when I did all my work and did my stuff, like I earned it. And like 1 shot of whiskey.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, you just smoke 1 cigarette,
a little bit of a halfie.
Yeah,
you put it out for the next day.
Yeah,
half a cigarette, shot of whiskey, teensy bit of cocaine, a bowl of weed. Once a day, and
like a Pepsi.
Yeah, and then one full pop, 1 12-ounce, not the bullshit stuff, 1 12-ounce pop.
It's weird, because my daughter was also telling me about how students bring coffee to school now. And
we relaxed on that hardcore because it was like, just remember that old ass wives' tale. It'll stunt your growth. That's what they would say.
Coffee when I was a kid was illegal.
No,
illegal.
Not allowed. It would fuck you up.
I know, it's crazy. They could walk in. She's like, they'll just walk in with a fucking venti coffee, and I'm like, God damn. They were not. Actually, no. What she told me was they have coffee there for the students. They can get it for free. They can go, like, coffee machine, pour a little coffee in their cup and go to class.
From where?
Like, what? At my daughter's high school.
They have coffee
cafeteria.
Oh, they have coffee in the cafeteria?
You can just dip into the cafeteria and grab yourself a nice cup of coffee and go to class.
Cup of mud.
Yeah. It's like a job. It's probably shitty, like, cable company coffee. Like,
oh,
the
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
that came with the
For sure.
janitorial equipment coffee.
Yes.
You know, that's probably
GFS
what it is.
or U-line coffee.
But goddamn, dude, I got in trouble for trying coffee when I was
Yeah,
a kid.
yeah,
I
no,
just
for
tried
sure.
it. They were like, no, you do not touch coffee. It was like basically alcohol when I was a kid. Kids didn't drink it.
Right.
Now it's like, we just let them go on it. But you know why? Better than pop. It's just black coffee, 15 calories. They don't drink, a lot of them don't drink black coffee, but it's probably even the lattes are less than a 7-Up, you know?
No, those lattes with the whipped cream and the caramel on them are like 400.
Okay. Maybe they're not eating lunch.
I mean, I feel like they've traded McDonald's in for coffee.
That's exactly it. McDonald's is not McDonald's. Starbucks is McDonald's.
Yeah, Starbucks is McDonald's.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's what it is now. Just everybody goes there. It's like when I was
This
a kid,
is a meal that makes me feel energized.
Yeah, because when I was a kid, man, I mean, when I was first becoming an adult, I did a lot of McDonald's. It was just like, what are we having for dinner?
that was...
It was like, what are we having for dinner? Oh, I don't know. McDonald's.
If I could ever cash in, it was always for something like that.
That was the default. McDonald's was a default for actually Wendy's, because I worked at McDonald's when I was 16. Now, from before I worked there, I defaulted to McDonald's every time.
Yeah.
It's like, if we're going to go have dinner, I'm going to go have a McDonald's. And I spent a lot of my first paychecks, which that's another great thing, right? We've been paying Gwen out for Teen Fight. She just spends it all on food.
Yeah.
She's like me. She's just like, I'm going to just go grab a fucking Chipotle, you know?
There was a friend of mine that would go to the only ATM in town. We would like skate over there because you could get $10 out.
Yeah.
But it wasn't his bank.
Okay.
So he would pay like $1.50 charge to get the money and $1 from his bank for using a non-ATM, non like in-network bank. And he would be like, well, you know, I just don't want to overspend. If I get $20 out, I'll spend more. And all we did was like get money out for Burger King.
I know.
That's all we were doing.
It's fucking every kid is fucking just waiting until they get that money so they can eat fast food. Well, Sunday night, right? So my wife gets all these fresh ingredients, right? She cuts all these vegetables, and she gets some beans, and she makes this like Italian soup, like a fucking vegetable soup, made with so much love, right? And she makes Cheddar Bay biscuits to go with it.
Okay.
And you know, I'm like, oh, that's like a good dinner. But I couldn't eat dinner at home because we were coming here. We started working like 3 hours before the show. I got here at 6, and we got pizza. Before I left, I always go up and tell Gwen, oh, like, see you later, pal. And she was like, wait, what are you doing? Did you eat already? And I was like, no, I'm eating over at Brett's. And he's like, oh, so you get to go eat something good. I was like, God damn, kid. Like, she hates home food so much, man. Me and her just really got a good, like, we had leftovers tonight for dinner. And Katie was just, like, impressed. She was just like, I'm really impressed with you two for eating leftovers. Because me and her are very much like, if I can avoid it, home food, I'm avoiding home food every fucking time.
I mean, yeah, you want the fresh made something.
Yeah.
You don't want something that's been, like, reheated.
Well,
like put back together.
Yeah.
Frankenstein
I don't like
together.
Home food very much. I don't think.
You
like,
don't?
Unless I'm making.
You don't like making. I mean, how else do you make home?
Unless Brian Quimby's making the home food.
You don't like Katie's cooking, is what you're saying on the show.
I do like Katie's cooking. She makes good stuff, but she doesn't eat meat. So like, I eat mostly vegetarian.
Well,
and like, it's just like I have changed my definition of dinner to a thing that's like, this is just a thing that provides me sustenance, where back before, and I was much fatter at this time, I did treat dinner like a big party. It was you who told me, like, you and Katie both, but you were one of the people who were like, you know, you like don't have to have a bread, a rice, a vegetable, and a hunk of meat for dinner. And then it like changed me, right? So sometimes we'll just make refried beans and put them in a burrito shell and dip them in Taco Bell hot sauce. And it's like, well, it's protein and it goes in my stomach and I eat it and I'm fine. I can move along with my day. So like a special dinner to me is one that I don't have to cook and that is like elaborate and tasty. You know, I like want somebody else to make me a really good food. It's like that's my dream.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? But I do want to bake more. I do want to cook more. But you can't even bake. You know, I can't bake because it's like if I bake, I have a whole fucking cake at my house, and there's only 3 of us.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean that's the same for me as like. Talking about leftovers and that we're not like a family that does that. I do have a lot of our recipes and I make enough for us to eat tonight.
Yeah.
Like I'll cut up all the ingredients for dinner and then half it, make it. That's what we're going to eat. And then we can remake it, you know, later in the week.
Katie's really good about like when we make dinner, we make more. And then she takes it to lunch all week.
Yeah, I mean, if it'll get
amazing.
used, it's just that like my family is very picky, and I like expecting them to eat leftovers is stupid because like I don't have that inclination to go and reheat something that was made fucking 36 hours ago.
Yeah. Well, me neither. I hate it. I'm just like leftovers, man. We just had that, you know. I have this weird thing in my mind now. And I've been trying to fight it where it's like you eat something and then like, so here's an example, right? So last week we were planning on Thursday, I think it was to go eat Mexican food. Like that was our plan. And on Tuesday, we're going out to get dinner. We're going to go get dinner. And I'm like, what are we having? Kate's like, well, we shouldn't have Mexican because we're having it on Thursday. And I was like, well, I mean, but if you want Mexican, you can have it.
That's enough of I mean, I feel like
I know
2 or 3 days away is like enough for me. I'm like, I could use some more.
I think she's protecting me though, because she knows that in 2 days, when it's time to eat Mexican, I'm the one that's going to be like, let's just order something, man. We just had Mexican like 2 days ago.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like that's probably her process. I am wasteful. If I lived alone, leftovers wouldn't even exist. And like, if I cooked, I wouldn't cook. Who am I fucking kidding?
You wouldn't cook for yourself?
Cook if I lived alone. No.
Really?
If you didn't have anybody else living at your house with you, you would cook?
Absolutely. The thing that bugs me is that like I have other people I have to deal with. Like I love so many different foods and ingredients, but I have to make something that like a kid can like and that my picky ass fucking partner likes.
Yeah.
I mean, I can live off such a simple fucking thing for myself. The problem is like trying to make sure everybody in the house gets like a nutritious, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like a diversity of foods and stuff.
You're in the Katie
But
spot.
for me, like, yeah, I mean, you know what? Me and Charlotte are on pork and beans like crazy. And Erica's just like, when she stays home from work and like Charlotte has a day off too, I'm like, she's like, what are we going to do for lunch? I'm like, pork and beans sounds fucking good to me. And Charlotte is excited and Erica's like, I don't like that. I'm like, you know what? It's fucking good for it. There's a lot of fiber. There's hot dogs. I throw mustard and onions.
Beanie weenies? You're eating beanie weenies?
No, a fucking bowl full of baked beans with hot dogs in it with diced white onions and yellow mustard. It's
beanie
my
weenies.
fucking
This
get down.
This motherfucker is eating beanie weenies for dinner. That's beanie weenies.
I mean, that's what I grew. I mean, like that. Those kind of simple things. When Erica calls a strike on that stuff, I'm like, I mean, that's on you. You're gonna have to go hungry then, because like we eat beans in this house.
Yeah.
Like that's just that's what we're gonna have to do. Like that shit was $1.29 for this gigantic can of beans, And it's simple. It's like not like the problem is that every meal should not be something out of an Instagram blog. Like every meal, sometimes it's just sustenance. Sometimes it's just heating shit up.
I mean, well, the Soylent thing for me is like, that is exactly what it is. Cause I hate eating breakfast. And I was like, if I don't eat breakfast, I'm fucking starving. And like, so I just have been doing that. But yeah, the beanie weenies is wild. But my wife is in your position. I'm not in your position. I am the problem. You know what I mean? She's always like, what do you want for dinner? And I'm like, a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
What do you want for dinner? A pizza. What do you want for dinner? A cheeseburger or pizza? To the point now where when she is like, do you want a burger or pizza for dinner?
you're like taco.
Well, yeah, burrito is the other thing, right?
You don't know me. You don't know me. I like more than two things.
It is, for me, and it's not Chipotle. There is a really good Mexican restaurant here, but they don't have good vegetarian options. But oof, the meat, it's just incredible.
Yeah.
And like, so burrito, cheeseburger, and pizza are like, if left to my own devices, or Italian sub. If left to my own devices, those are the only things I would eat.
Yeah.
But
I mean, a lot of it, like there's elaborate dinners and then there is just basic nutritional fucking things that you put into your head.
That's what I'm shooting for. I'm shooting for getting that to happen, you know?
Yeah, and like also knowing like if you're not going to eat the leftovers, just make enough so that like it's kind of a meal prep solution. What we've always done is like I cut up enough food to make it so that like I can keep it in the fridge. Like I cut up half of a sweet potato, cook it for the night, and then later in the week, the other half is ready to go when I want to make it, you know?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like
that's smart. Hey, I don't do it. So.
But I do not plan on I just know you have to work with yourself and like what you like.
Yeah. So somebody sent me this earlier this week. It's from a website called The Workplace.
Okay.
And this is where they give advice for managers.
Yikes.
Odd question here. I'm going to give you. I manage
we got to get on that list.
What?
The workplace list?
Yeah. Somebody actually sent this to me, so I'm going to stay on this site. It's where people can ask questions and then get suggestions from other managers.
Yeah.
This is very perfect for us. I think I manage a software team and have normal, reasonable expectations. Recently, I've been having a problem with the younger new hires. I require everyone to be in by 9 a.m. And whenever I ask one of them why they got here at 9:10, they'll say something like, "This is at-will employment. Let me know if I'm fired." That is a fucking tight way that is a cool way to respond to that.
Well, that's how they're dealing with you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not working for you. I'm on contract here. So let's not pretend like we're a family or anything like that because you don't give a fuck about me, right?
And I want to start he says he has normal, reasonable expectations, but his expectations don't allow for people sometimes being late. Yeah, you know, that's like not normal and reasonable. People are late sometimes. But like, you cannot fucking control every single day your commute to work. Anybody that's ever commuted to a fucking job knows that there are days where it's beyond your fucking control. Getting in at 9 a.m. is hard for almost everybody. You know, people don't like to wake up that early. Then you got to get in your car. Sometimes you got to fight fucking traffic. Sometimes there's an accident. Sometimes it's smooth sailing, you know?
I mean, it's absolutely egotistical. It's just, it's something to focus on because you don't have anything else to do. You don't have a real job.
Yeah.
The only thing that you can do is critique somebody's working style. And like you said, 9 a.m. is when everybody else is trying to go to work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of problems that happen. There's a lot of fender benders and all of that. If I come in at 10 a.m. and do my work, what's the problem other than that, like, you have some sort of idea that I shouldn't have started at 10 a.m.?
Exactly. In your mind, it's reasonable for me to get here at 9.
You can, all you're doing is using like the browbeaters of the past. Like you're just like all of the tradition, all of that is useless. So at this point, like, are you trying to get the job done, or are you trying to exert power over people?
It is. It's control. I get the same kind of answer if they take over 30 minutes for lunch. Something like, are you going to fire me for this?
Right. Because there's like, that's what we've broken down to. I mean, even from when we started, like in my younger days, 2002 is when I graduated. There, at this point, it has been whittled down. I'm sorry, it's
winnowed.
Whittled down.
Yes.
Whittled down to the point where at will employment, people are, the gig economy, all of these things, there's no more careers. Right? People thought it was weird that like millennials were changing jobs every 3 to 4 years, even though that was like the best way to make more money. Like switching job is the best way to get like a bump in your salary. Like,
or even threatening it.
Yeah. If you work for somebody forever, they're just going to pay you the least amount of money that they can forever. Like you need to keep moving your skills to the next place. And they have created this environment, but at the same time aren't willing to just work with it,
Yeah. And so he wraps this up by saying they do find work, but they don't respect my authority. Does anyone have any tips for how to handle younger employees with attitude without necessarily firing them? I mean, he seems like the requirement that he has for a good employee is respecting his authority. Like
that's all it is.
Top requirement.
He doesn't want anything done. He just wants to be venerated as the boss.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at a few of these answers. I think the answer really is deal with them the same way you deal with other employees. At its best, employment is mutually beneficial. The employer and employee both receive something positive. At the root, both parties are motivated by what they get in that exchange. Intangible things like respect are easiest to get when you understand that. Like, you don't have to fucking respect me. How about that? Like, if you work for me, I fucking do not care if you respect me as long as you do what I need to happen.
Let's bump it up even more. When you were a young man, you got treated like shit and you didn't stand up for yourself because everybody above you told you not to stand up for yourself. The young people these days have the audacity to say, I'm doing something that's worth value, and that's what makes them mad.
Oh, yeah.
So they put up with mistreatment, and they are mad that other people won't. When you have to acknowledge that, like, if somebody is doing a job for you and all they say is, like, I want motherfucking money, that is the conditions that you're going to have to deal with them on. Like, if you're not offering the type of environment to make them feel comfortable in what they're doing, they're just going to be dealing with you like they're a 1099 independent fucking contractor.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that's who we are, right?
Yeah, the answers to this are actually not too bad. Like one person's like, you're in a very difficult spot, one entirely of your own making, for which the blame falls squarely on your shoulders. Once an employee has become so disgruntled that they're asking their manager to be fired and doing so publicly, the manager is left with no choice but to fire that employee. And that's another thing about our system, right? It's like if we had a real safety net, like a real like unemployment, universal health care, all of that stuff, then people wouldn't be saying, so what, are you going to fire me? Because you could quit. And like the reason people want to be fired is because you can collect unemployment if you get fired. I fucking tried for a year and a half to get fired so I could collect unemployment. It just didn't happen.
Well, this is just a weird thing where someone's just asking for like the customs of the past,
yes,
to like be upheld. Like this person should be, this person should have more revelation for who I am. Like I'm at their employer. They should, be trying to get me on their side. They should be trying to charm me, with their wit and their like dedication to the job. They shouldn't just blatantly announce that they're doing this for money. That seems crude, you know?
Yeah. And also, like, again, what this guy expects is not hard work. It's not.
No.
It's not. It is really just come here at
When
night.
I was a kid, the business owners could walk around town and the people that worked for them knew that they were owned by them. You know, we didn't have any sort of this, like, it wasn't this crass thing where we exchanged money for work. I mean, goodness gracious. Is that what we've come to? Is that people just think they're doing a job for money? It's this weird, I don't know where they get this idea from. It's like just an old, like, Andy Griffith ass type fucking way of thinking.
Yeah. And
it's black and white TV.
I also
to me
feel like if you're a manager, I do
like
think,
everybody that does stuff for Street Fight does it for fucking money.
Yeah. And they absolutely do. And I see it that way too. It's like if Jake doesn't respect me, but he puts the stuff out that I want him to put out and he does the thing I asked him to do, I don't fucking care, man.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care when he does it. I don't care how long he takes to fucking do it. None of that matters to me. I want it done. And that's like the only requirement for me. The only requirement is I just want it done. I just want the things to get done. It's
asking for, like, what he's doing is he's asking for a smile. He's asking for gratitude. He's asking for people to say to him, like, you know, I sure am grateful for this, and like this has defined my life and this has made me a better person. You know, like he's asking for people to go above and beyond and really fucking give him a round of applause.
Yeah.
For nothing more than being like a project manager, probably.
Yeah. And I do think, like, I mean, we have well, it's like a long time. We have a few generations, right, of people who look at of management that look at employment as just like a god issuing edicts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they look at the way that a job works is that there is a person in charge, and that person in charge tells everybody what they have to do, and those people don't have to do it. I think we now live in a world, though, where people are beginning. It's still in the very early stages, but I think we do live in a world now where people are beginning to understand that they bring value to whatever they're doing, and they're going to use that as part of the thing. And like it's almost like a push and pull with management instead of just fucking management pushing all the time.
Well, I think there is definitely a disconnect, because I think the older generations, the boomers, and maybe even some Gen X people fall into this place where if there's somebody giving out orders, that means there's money to be made, right? Like if there's shovel-ready jobs, as long as you can man a shovel, you can get paid. And they're just thankful to have somebody else to tell them what to do and offer them, you know, the money. But the millennial kickback, the millennial crybabies that we are, all we ever did was advocate for ourselves. And that's what that's been unfair the whole time, is that like our parents' generations, they ate a lot of shit and they never got a chance to complain or say this was not the right thing. Even though they went home, they cried in front of their spouses, right? They had breakdowns.
Punching fucking walls.
Punching holes in the walls, all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Kicking
put up
a fucking dog.
Yeah, they put up and went through a lot of misery. And we simply had the audacity to say that like unpaid internship doesn't make any sense. How am I supposed to live in the city and produce all of the cutting edge content that you need for young people and not get fucking paid for it? Like I have to have somewhere to live. I have to have food.
Right.
Like I feel like it is still like you're right. It's very unpopular. And the unfortunate thing is that we've seen more 20 and 30-year-olds that have decided to be old school about stuff that are the same exact way as this guy thinks, is that like, you know, there's a way to do stuff and that you should be grateful that someone, you know, has a job for you, what it is. But I think it's just catching on more and more that people are realizing and willing to advocate for themselves and say, I do something that's valuable and worth it, you know? Like,
what? I have another question for you. Do you think that these employees get to leave at exactly 5 o'clock, right? Like, are they allowed to just turn their computer off and walk out the door at 5 o'clock no matter what the fuck is going on? I doubt it. And that is the type of thing that kind of inflexible thinking. It's like, so you want me to be flexible with how long I'm here, but you don't want to be flexible with the time that I get here.
Yeah.
So you just want me to fucking be here at 9 because you thought of it, but when it comes time for me to be off, you don't think that I deserve to be off when I'm supposed to.
Yeah, being flexible means I have to come in early and stay late. Being flexible doesn't mean that, like, oh, fuck, my phone died and I went to bed and my alarm didn't go off and now you're charging me for it.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, if I work from 10 to 6 instead of 9 to 5, I'm in punishment, but I'm doing the same. I'm accomplishing all the tasks that you need done.
I'm fucking doing everything. And to make it sound like every single employee is coming in at 9:10, right?
Yeah.
Is ridiculous. You know, if this guy is so complainy about the time, I'm sure everybody's coming in on time most of the time. And he's just mad because every once in a while there's a guy like me who walks in at 9:10 and he's like, hey, buddy, you're late. And it's like, yeah, 10 minutes. Who cares? What are you going to do? Fire me? You know?
Yeah.
Sit down. It's not even like a respect thing. It's I don't know.
You know what's actually crazy? I just signed the paperwork for a home today, and they give you a 15-day grace period. Yeah, and I was like, "Woo, 15! That's pretty interesting."
Oh, to pay your rent?
Yeah, like I could take my rent and take it to the casino and lose it all, and still have like 10 days to figure out how to pay my fucking bill.
That is better than mine's on the 1st.
But it is. But that's the thing, is those moments where it's like, there's a when I worked at the warehouse at Abercrombie, there was a 4-minute grace period, and we would hang out in the cafeteria past start time, and we would walk up the steps and clock in at like 2:04 or 3:04 instead of 3 o'clock.
At Kroger,
and
there was a 7.
Drove him fucking mad, and it was like, but you also allowed it. Like, we're
in
playing.
a conversation.
This is the rules.
I needed some grace.
Yeah, we're playing rules. Yeah,
well, and it's funny because like at Kroger, it was a 7-minute grace period, and I'll never forget him fucking telling me that. And I have always believed that 7 minutes is the grace period. That's what it should be.
And you know what? But it is like, there are workplaces where you do have a lot more freedom. Like the position my wife is in, she is able to have a lot more freedom, and she does a lot more work for him, I think. And it's more helpful to work with the people that are working for you instead of trying to force them through a fucking, I don't know.
Your thing.
Yeah, like
this
you're
is
just
your fucking thing.
That's what it is. It's the flow chart. Like, just like everybody has to follow these rules instead of just like, well, I want to get this business done today, and these people are going to chip in. What is it going to be, right? Yeah. Some of them you show up 15 minutes late, you stay 15 minutes later. I don't give a fuck, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't have to fucking put an edict out about it.
I mean, it's causing is you to have.
Yeah, you are stressed about it, right? Like, I came here, I know I'm motherfucking late. I'll put in an extra fucking time, right?
Yeah.
But the bus wasn't here, or my shower, I timed it wrong, or I had to get gas, or whatever the fuck it is. I'm not trying to make trouble with you because you're the biggest fucking pain in my ass, right?
Yeah. Well, and you were just talking about flexibility, and like, it would be one thing if this dude was fucking okay. So like, you run a restaurant, right? And you open at 9, and somebody's late. It's still not like really a big deal, but it's like you can almost understand somebody being like, okay, like, I need you to get here at 9 because we open at 9.
Yeah.
Like I need you to run the cash register or whatever the fuck you do. At a software programming place, time matters not at all.
No.
This is a power trip.
Absolutely.
Like, plain and fucking simple. This guy is a hard ass, and I'll bet you he's mean as shit. And if you talk to his employees, they would explain why they don't respect him. And they might not even not respect him. They probably think he's a fucking dick.
Yeah.
Because his requirement is dickish. And the way that he says it, the way that he says he's a reasonable guy, but then he also says 10 minutes late is too crazy. Or a half-hour lunch should be fucking illegal to me. I think half-hour lunch is
that's nothing.
Fucking crazy.
That's nothing.
Man. I don't know why we're still living in a half-hour lunch world. I was an hour lunch at the cable.
Half-hour lunch, you're just checking the goddamn clock. You go, you heat your fucking food up, you unwrap your sandwich, whatever it may be. Like, you are just, like, on the clock. You're checking it every single minute. You don't have any time to get prepared. You can't even, like, put a goddamn napkin down. Like, you just have to inhale all the food that you got as quickly as possible.
I mean, if you really want to talk about, like, people's diets and stuff like that, too, it's like, if you give people like, if you want to talk about, like, any of the health issues that come with eating fast food and stuff like that, it's like, well, if you're only giving people fucking a half an hour to leave the place, get the food, and bring it back, like, isn't really anything else you can eat. You gotta pack your lunch. Obviously, like, you always have the option to pack your lunch, but if you're a Brian Quinby type guy, I never pack my lunch. I am, like, there is never going to be a time where I pack my lunch because it's gross.
I love packing lunch.
I'm so shocked my daughter still packs her lunch in fucking 9th grade, where I'm like, fuck, I was buying in 6th grade. Like,
that school food is bad, though.
Right.
It's fucked up.
But they have open lunch, so they can fucking also just take off and go get lunch if they want.
Okay.
So she still packs, though. She's just like, I'll pack.
In 9th grade, you can leave?
Yeah.
That's not right.
I said the same thing.
Wait, 9th graders can leave?
And they can go to lunch.
That's weird.
Go grab a fucking Wendy's. Go get a Noodles and Company while you're
Yo,
out.
you do live in Mayberry, dude. Like, that is way back when. I don't think that kids...
I've heard a lot more that people are doing it. More and more I've heard that kids are allowed to leave for lunch in some places.
Yeah, I mean, like, as like juniors and seniors, that was our rules. But not like as freshmen. Never freshmen.
Yeah, no, they leave. Yeah, they go out to eat, but they only go out to eat like once a week or something. It's like they don't have as much time, and you get in a shitload of trouble if you show up late back from lunch.
Sure.
Like, they lock the fucking doors.
Right.
And it's one of those situations where you gotta go hit the button and all that stuff.
Everybody knows.
You know. But yeah, I just think a half-hour lunch is unrealistic, even if you pack your lunch. It doesn't give you any time to eat, digest, unwind. And an hour is reasonable. I don't think there's anything more reasonable than a 1 hour lunch. Like, it's just like, 2 hour lunch.
2 hour lunch would be nice.
I'd love it. 2 hour
little
lunch.
nap,
3 hour.
little cat nap.
I love that Spain shit where they talk about
siestas.
Motherfucker, I don't think anybody does it over there anymore because it's like capitalism makes so everything has to be running all the time. But boy, would I love to fucking go to work, right? You go to work in the morning, and sometime around like 2 o'clock, you go home, you fucking have a nice meal, you take a nap, you come back to work at 8, and you finish your day. Oh, that sounds fucking incredible.
2 to 8. That's a 6 hour break you're talking about.
That's what I thought it was like. It's
not 6 hours.
3 maybe 3 hours because they get a big old fucking meal and then they go back to work like later. I'll have to look that up, but like that's the dream right there, because that is integrating work into your life instead of integrating your life into work.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So like, oh yeah, I'm fucking more tied up in work, right, for a longer part of the day. But for those hours, I am not working. And I assume that you can get your brain, if you're raised sort of that way, or if you've done it for a while, you can get your brain to be like, I'm not at work, I'm off. You know, because you're off during that time.
Right.
Seems incredible to me. I'm looking up how long they are, but I swear I heard I think it was like 3 to 7 or something like that. It was like a long,
that was like 2 hours.
You get a nap, you eat a big old meal. You go back to work. I mean, because also the shittiest thing about lunch when you have it, especially an office job, but even in blue collar work, fucking tired as fuck when you get back. It's like fucking taking Tylenol PM. It's the fucking worst feeling to go back.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna eat fast food for lunch,
dude, if you eat anything for lunch, you're tired when you get back. I always was. I was always like, I had the 2:00 crash, like they say in that 5-hour energy commercial. I was just like tired, eyes rolling back. I'm like going. I look like somebody's about to do a fatality on me in Mortal Kombat. Well, that's the show. Fuck that manager. He seems like a dick. That was fun, Brett.
Yeah, thanks for listening in. This is Street Fight Radio. You can watch what we do every single week on live stream. We're on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also listen to the show on podcasting apps. Please, rate and subscribe and all that. We do appreciate it. And if you want to step it up and get more of us, we just released a new episode of Undercover Business Tyrants. You can find that at patreon.com/streetfightradio. We're also, I'm doing the logistics, like the shipping and everything for the means TV stuff. So Street Fight Radio is going to get a payout for all of these Means TV shirts that are sold. And that money goes to independent creators, really. I mean, I did convince Nick to start using a union print shop. And, it takes a lot of money to get things done and accomplished. But we will be in charge of shipping all those shirts out. You go to means.store and get a pre-order in. It's going to be all month long. Also, Street Fight Radio is taking a pre-order on the new Gumball shirt. So an injury to Gumball is an injury to all t-shirts. Those are going to be reprinted on the super soft USA made shirts. You can get those at store.streetfightradio.com. I do need more pre-orders of those so that we can get a bulk discount. So there's lots of ways to support the show. Let everybody know what level you're on, where your vibes are at, and we appreciate those of you that step up and do that. It means a lot to us, and I hope in 2020 think bigger and better things. Like I think that there is a lot of revolutionary spirit in the air, and people are ready to make things new, and there's going to be a lot of exciting things in the future, and I'm glad that y'all are along for the ride. We'll keep it going. No call-in show on Sunday. We'll be back next Wednesday. We are Street Fight Radio. Peace.